Welcome back, students, to my channel Let's Learn Together, and I hope you have been through first two stanzas of the poem. Now, this particular video is in extension of the work that I did in the last video, and in this particular video, I'm dealing with the third and fourth stanzas of the poem The Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost. I hope the first two stanzas would be more clear to you and you would be able to make some sense of them. If there are any problems, please do ask them, as I told you in the last video also. And in this particular video, I'm dealing with the stanza third and stanza fourth. Now let us look at third stanza. In the first two stanzas, let me very quickly recap of what happened in the first two stanzas. I told you in the first two stanzas there is this narrator who is standing on the road, which is now the traveler basically. He's been traveling back from somewhere, and he has now come to a point where the particular road which he had been traveling, now it has got diverted into two main roads, and now he has to now make a choice about which one should be picked up by him. And he picks up one road and he starts traveling on that particular road, and probably he decides to move back, he decides to move forward on that particular road, uh, although he thinks about what to do. But then he realizes that both the roads are having the same kind of claim upon his decision, and the one that moves towards the denser forest seems to be the one that is less traveled by, because the road is having a lot of grassiness on it. There are grasses on it, and it seems as if nobody has really walked much upon it, because it is in a condition which seems like uh, the road has not been used by many people. But then he says that even if we would have picked up another road, things wouldn't really have been much different from him for him, because both the roads seems to have the same kind of claim on his decision. And then he says that another road would have been equally good to him, even if he would have decided to move on that into that. Okay, now this was how he is trying to make a decision, and he so thinks that how much ever hard we think about making a decision, or before making a decision, it's ultimately the consequence of what we do and not about what we have not done. So he says that the regret is that he cannot take up both the decisions, because both the decisions would have different consequences. It's like he wants to know what would happen if he would have taken another decision, but then he can only look at the consequence of the decision once he would have made it. Since he is just a one person, he can move, or he can make only one decision at a time. Therefore, he regrets of not being able to move on a different road, obviously because he is just one person. But at the same time, he finds it that even on this the if he would have moved on to the different road, things would have been equally same probably for him. And at least as far as the choice of making a decision is concerned, uh, up till there the things are same. Up till there, up till the point, up to where one has to make a decision, uh, nothing much actually changes. Nothing, there are not a lot of differences between the two choices. But then once you take a choice and you move on it, the consequences may come after what he would have realized, after he would have acted upon that particular choice. Okay, now let us look at the third stanza. The third stanza is saying, and both that morning lay equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the fuss for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Okay, as I told you, then he has the dilemma of actually, he has a dilemma of which one to move on. That is one thing. At the same time, he regrets of having moved on to only one path, and that he has not been able to move on the another one. So he says that there are two ways. One way he has picked up to move on to another way, the another road. He thought that he will come back on some other day and move on to that road also. Okay, because he wants to know what is it that that particular road is leading to. He wants to know the destination of that particular road also. So he says that, okay, I have kept the first road to some other day. I'll come back sometime after having traveled on the road he has picked up. He will come back after some time and travel on the another road. But then he says, I also know that how one way leads on to another way, which means whatever you do in your life is ultimately interconnected. So all our choices, all the events of our life, all the incidents of our life, whatever the decisions we make, whatever the decisions we do not make, everything in a way is interlinked. You know, these one event of your life may lead on to another one, and then to another one, and then to another one, and this is how the chain improves, and it makes moves make continues to move, and this is what makes your life. This is the kind of a continuum that is made or that is created by the decisions and the events and the incident that is been happening in your life. So he says that ultimately one road will lead to another one, and the another one will lead to another one. So although I might not come back once again to move on to the another road, but I know that I am moving on to a road which will take me to yet another road, and then to yet another road. So everything is interlinked. Although he has not been able to walk on that particular road which he has left, but then he knows that somewhere down the line he will be able to, somewhere maybe he will be able to intersect with that road also. Okay, because everything is interconnected. That's what I'm saying, trying to say. What I'm trying to get at is that the events of your life, the decisions that you make, are just linked with each other. They're not separate from each other. So today, if you are making a decision to study, say, literature, tomorrow you might become a teacher, and then day after tomorrow you might just have to depend a lot upon what you had studied in your school days and in your college days, and then even in your very and whatever you had decided to study in your college might just accompany you in the very advanced stage of your life also. What I'm trying to get at is that the decisions of your life, the events and incidents are all interconnected. Okay, they're all mixed up, and that's how a continuum is produced. A particular continuum means a line is made, a kind of which is ultimately known as life. That is what is constituted into your life. Okay, so he says that, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no steps had trodden black. He says that when I was looking at the road, I thought that some other people would have come back, some other traveler would have come back at least to move on to a different road. But then I could not see any steps turning back. There were steps which were seen of moving in one direction. They were moving ahead on that particular road, but then he could not find those uh, steps retreating back. None of them actually came back again. Okay, oh, I kept the first for another day. So there was another road which he had not picked up. You remember? There were two, out of which he is only moving on to the first one, and then there is another road which he is not picking up. So he thought that another day he would be able to come back and move on to that particular road. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. He said, I know that I left that road for some other day, but then I also know at the same time there is this realization of the fact that one road will lead on to the another, and then another one will lead on to another one, and this is how the roads will continue forever and ever, and he is never going to come back to his particular time, and then going to it's like once you make a decision and you start acting upon it, the decision will take you to a particular consequence. It will take to a particular point. Now from that point it is not easier for you to move back. Like it is at least not easy for you to move back. Even if you decide to move back, you cannot move back in time. That is something which you must understand, that moving back in time is not possible. Can you go back to your past and change a decision? No, you cannot do that, because even if you want to change your decision at a particular point, you would have spent certain time in living your decision, in acting upon your decision. Okay, so for example, decide to learn dancing, and I do that for 1 month, and after 1 month I realize that I cannot dance, or probably I don't enjoy dancing, or probably now I don't want to do dancing anymore. So can I come back 1 month before and change my decision? No, I can change the decision and do something else or get into something else, but those 1 month of learning the dance cannot be compensated for, they cannot be retreated back. Okay, so what he's trying to say is that there were two roads in front of him, and the one which was less traveled by, he picked up that one to follow. He follow the one, or he likes to follow the one which is less traveled by, because it was grassy, it wanted wear, and there were not many people who had actually walked onto that. So he probably found that particular road more interesting, that particular choice more interesting, and he decides to move on to that, thinking that one day he would come back and he would travel another road also. So, but then he realizes that both the roads have equal claim on his decisions, and then on one fine morning he feels that both the roads, in the leaves he finds that the the steps had trodden black. In leaves, no steps had trodden black, which means that people who had gone ahead had not repeated one interpretation. And another way you can understand it is that, the grasses have turned really the steps in leaves. When the steps, the people who would have moved out over there, the steps had trodden black. They had trodden black, which means the color of the steps have trodden black, which means not many people have come back again. So the foot imprints are there as it is, and they're showing the passage of time. So their turning black is actually showing the passage of time, which means the people have moved on to them, but they have not come back again, which means that the road has taken them to somewhere, and from that somewhere they have moved on further, and they have not decided to come. And there is absolutely no way of coming back to your decision. As I told you, you cannot move back in time, but then you can come back. But even if you decide to come back, it's like you would have lived your decision for a certain period of time, isn't it? So he said that, I know that how one way would lead on to another, and this is how my life is going to continue. And I doubt if I would ever be able to come back to this particular place to travel the leftover road. That was third stanza. Let us look at the fourth and the last stanza of the poem, and that is, I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Okay, they say after many years, ages and ages, hence means from here onwards. After some time, or after those ages and ages, not some time, but after a lot of time, not many years would have passed, and at that time, you can only move back in memory, not actually. You cannot move back in time, but you can move back in memory, and you will go back at that particular time, and you think that yes, I was standing at that point, the two roads were there, and I picked up the one which was less traveled by, and today whatever my life is, it was because of that decision that I make, right? He says, I shall be telling this with a sigh. Sigh means with little disappointment, with a little unhappy feeling, and he's saying that, he's not very happy to say this, but then he's regretting something. The regret is about not being able to walk onto the another uh, path, or onto the another decision. Now, this is nothing but a dynamic state in which the narrator is, and it is dealing with the general conditions of living with almost all the human beings. So this is like a human existentialist problem. A human existentialist problem is are those situations which are in which a human being basically deals into how to live life, and what does it mean to exist, and what meaning does their existence in this particular universe have. Okay, it's like, today whatever I am, if I give you my own example, then today whatever I am, I might be happy with my decision, or I might not be very happy with the decision, with my particular life, because I made one. But I might just be feeling that if 5 years back or 10 years back, I would have made some other decision, probably I would have at a better stage in my life today. Or maybe I might also be thinking that I am very thankful of whatever I am today, because I made that particular decision. Okay, so this is like continuously introspecting about your existence, what it is, and what could have been if you would have taken a different decision, right? So this is what the poem is about. He's saying in the last stanza very clearly that I am telling this with a sigh, with a little disappointment, or with a little regret. I will tell you that very after many years, I would tell you that there were two roads which diverged, and if I would have I picked up the one which was less traveled by, and therefore the life is how it is. So you do not have to see this problem as something which is disappointing. You must understand that this is a very general tendency of human mind to think. And if there is mind, of course the mind will think, and mind will think, it will continuously introspect about what you are today and what you could have been today. So in this way, Robert Frost is setting up an issue of human life, which is of human making choices, because making choices is extremely important in anyone. And then he says that your life is ultimately the consequences of your choice only. So it's whatever the way you want to live. You may live in disappointment and feel that you could have taken a different decision, or maybe you might just feel happy about whatever the decision you made at that time, and that has brought you wherever you are. So this is what the poem is about. Read it once again, and now read the poem in its complete way, and read all the four stanzas, and try to understand how much of it is that you are able to understand, or how much of it is that you're able to relate to yourself. Although I know all of you are not more than 14 to 15 years old, you have not really exposed yourself to a very larger aspects of your life. But even then, do you feel that you should have made some other choice at a different point of time in your life? Or do you feel that whatever you have done so far, you're happy with it or satisfied with it? Keep thinking about it. I wish you all a very happy day ahead. Thank you so much.